We've explored space. We've sent rovers to Mars, landed on the Moon, and even have people living on the International Space Station. But here's something that'll blow your mind. We've actually explored more of the surface of the Moon than we have of our own ocean floor. Less than 5% of Earth's oceans have been explored. 5%. That means 95% of the ocean is a complete mystery to us. So the question is, which environment is actually more hostile to human life, the deep sea or outer space? Let's find out. Let's start with the obvious one. Pressure. In space, there's no pressure at all. It's a vacuum. If you were exposed to space without a suit, the lack of pressure would cause the air in your lungs to expand rapidly, and the water in your body would start to vaporize. It's not a pretty picture. But here's the thing. You wouldn't actually explode like in the movies. You'd lose consciousness in about 15 seconds due to lack of oxygen, and you'd be dead within a couple of minutes. Brutal, but relatively quick. Now let's talk about the deep ocean. The pressure down there is absolutely insane. For every 10 meters you descend, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. At the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench, which is about 11,000 meters down, the pressure is over 1,000 times what we experience at sea level. That's like having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of you. If you were down there without protection, you wouldn't just die, you'd be crushed instantly. Your bones would shatter, your organs would collapse, and your body would be compressed into something unrecognizable. The deep ocean doesn't mess around. Temperature is another huge factor. Space is cold, really cold. In the shadow, temperatures can drop to around -270 degrees Celsius, just a few degrees above absolute zero. But here's the weird thing about space. Because there's no air, there's nothing to conduct heat away from your body efficiently. So while you'd eventually freeze, it would actually take a while, because heat loss happens primarily through radiation, which is slow. You'd die from lack of oxygen long before you froze solid. The deep ocean, on the other hand, is consistently cold, but not quite as extreme. Most of the deep sea hovers around 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. Cold enough to give you hypothermia pretty quickly, but not instantly lethal like the vacuum of space. However, water conducts heat away from your body about 25 times faster than air does. So even though the temperature isn't as extreme as space, you'd actually freeze faster in the deep ocean than you would in the vacuum of space. Wild, right? Let's talk about radiation. Space is absolutely flooded with it. Without Earth's atmosphere and magnetic field to protect you, you're exposed to cosmic rays, solar radiation, and, well, all kinds of nasty stuff that can damage your DNA and cause cancer. Astronauts on the International Space Station are exposed to radiation levels about 10 times higher than what we experience on Earth. On a trip to Mars, astronauts would be exposed to even more, potentially increasing their lifetime cancer risk significantly. The deep ocean? Almost no radiation. Water is actually an excellent shield against radiation. In fact, spent nuclear fuel is often stored in deep pools of water because it's so effective at blocking radiation. So if you're worried about getting zapped by cosmic rays, the deep ocean is definitely the safer bet. Of course, you'll be dealing with crushing pressure and freezing temperatures, but at least your DNA will be intact. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The creatures. Space, as far as we know, is empty. No life, no threats, just you and the void. The deep ocean, however, is teeming with life, and a lot of it is absolutely terrifying. We're talking about giant squid with eyes the size of dinner plates, anglerfish with teeth like needles, and gulper eels that can swallow prey larger than themselves. There are creatures down there that produce their own light, creatures that can survive in boiling acidic water near hydrothermal vents, and creatures we're still discovering every single year. Some of these deep-sea animals have adapted to survive in conditions that would kill almost anything else on Earth. They've evolved antifreeze proteins in their blood, specialized enzymes that work under extreme pressure, and metabolisms that can survive on almost no food for months. The deep ocean is like an alien world right here on our own planet, and in many ways it's more extreme than anything we've found in space so far. So, which environment is more hostile? Honestly, they're both absolutely brutal, just in different ways. Space will kill you with the vacuum, radiation, and extreme temperatures. The deep ocean will crush you, freeze you, and surround you with creatures that look like they crawled out of a nightmare. But here's the kicker. We've built technology to survive in both. We have spacesuits and the International Space Station. We have deep-sea submersibles that can withstand the pressure of the Mariana Trench. Human ingenuity has found ways to explore both of these impossibly hostile environments. But if I had to choose, I'd say the deep ocean edges out space as the more immediately lethal environment. The pressure alone would kill you in an instant, whereas in space you'd at least have a few seconds to contemplate your mistakes. Plus, the deep ocean has the added bonus of terrifying sea creatures that could theoretically eat what's left of you. Space is just empty. The ocean is hostile and populated. So there you have it. Two of the most extreme environments known to humanity, and we've barely scratched the surface of either one. If this video made you think twice about both space travel and deep-sea diving, hit that like button, subscribe for more comparisons that'll make you question everything, and drop a comment telling me which environment you think is scarier. See you in the next one.